Hey everyone, my name is Patrick Hanley. This is my 2008 Toyota Tundra, a GFC platform camper. I live in Vancouver, Washington. I make maps for a living, and I use this truck and my camper to get out and explore with my dog as much as I can. We're going to do a little walk around, show you some of my favorite parts on the truck, some of my favorite things I've done so far. So I purchased the camper in March of 2023. And since then, I've gotten a few little bits and pieces that have really improved the experience, I think. One of my favorites is the OVS 270 LTE canopy. It swings all the way around. It's their smallest, lightest, and cheapest awning. I mostly got it for the light, but also the cheap was kind of nice. It's really been great. Like, one of my favorite things I've ever done to my truck. You're in a parking lot or something, you're out on the beach, whatever, you can swing it out and get shade immediately. So I've really enjoyed that. Let's see. I have the Josh Edgar Design roof rack or rail system. Just picked that up a few weeks ago for this road trip I went on. I wanted to bring my stand-up paddleboard with me. I just got back yesterday, pulled into the GFC open house event from a 2,000-mile road trip down to the Sierra Nevadas. Went down through Central Oregon, came out around Lake Tahoe, went down to Ochoco National Forest, looped back up through Yosemite, hit Lake Shasta, and then rolled into Scappoose. I didn't really have a reason other than I wanted to see that part of the country. I love California. I love, just exploring as much as I can. I've taken a couple road trips this summer, 7 to 10 day road trips, and so this was kind of a culmination of everything I've learned on those trips. This one was a little less full off-road, a little bit. When I saw a dirt road that I wanted, I took it, but I didn't feel the need to spend the entire time on dirt, although, as you see by my truck, I got quite a bit of dirt time. The funny thing is that almost a year ago to the day, I went for my first solo camping trip. Stayed in the back. It had a ARE canopy on it. I was laying there, and honestly, I just went. I just got a feeling. I was like, I need to go camping today, and so I got out. Was sitting there, and I was like, this is pretty fun. This would be a little bit more fun with a dog. So a year ago today, I went and got my dog, Smokey. Hop out. There he is. He's the adventure pal. So yeah, I mean, my dad was really big into solo road tripping. He did 3 or 4 road trips around the country in his Honda Element. Went to every MLB stadium in the country. He was shooting to go to every single national park that was accessible by vehicle, but COVID and some health issues got in the way of that, and so now I kind of do my traveling with his spirit, and yeah, get out as much as I can, try and see as much as I can. Smokey, come here. Thank you. Oh, thanks, buddy. There you go. The truck actually has some backstory as well. This was my grandpa's truck. I bought it from him with 48,000 miles on it. It was, he used it to tow a tractor, and that's about it. So it's now got 78,000 on it. Quite a few have now been with the GFC, going on trips. Helped him pick it off the lot in 2008, and so it's got a lot of, kind of special sentimental feeling to me, and that's actually one of the reasons why I invested in the GFC. I felt that this will never be a vehicle I get rid of, and so I might as well splurge and get something that's awesome, something that I will love, and put it on a truck that I love, and it's done every single thing I needed to and more. So definitely one of my favorite things about the platform camper is the panels on the side. I tell a lot of people that, like, just alone, it's awesome as a canopy, and the tent's kind of an added bonus. So be able to get in, get my stuff in and out. I keep my chairs right here. I keep my table and my ladder. I got my hiking backpack all just like right there and within hand's reach. So I absolutely love that. The truck has always had a canopy on it, so I've never felt like I was missing functionality. So yeah, I mean, this has been really great, just that alone. So I just added this before my last road trip. I got these little tie-down cleats and put them into the well nuts, and then got these S-beaners, carabiners. So it holds my dog's life jacket, it holds my life jacket. Shout out to my mom; she'd be pissed if I was on the water without it. Same thing on the other side. I just got my hiking backpack, and I kind of use that as a catch-all, like when I'm not actually hiking. I just throw whatever stuff's rolling around in the bed in there. These are something I hadn't seen anyone else do. I added the same tie downs to the strut or the hatch struts, and then this is just like a Harbor Freight 48-inch bungee, and so I keep paper towel and teepee. I enjoy it because there's never a way that you'll run out of either without seeing that you've run out of either. So yeah, never stuck in the woods without some teepee. I've got the fairy light system kind of jankily spread out throughout the entire camper. It puts out some surprisingly good light, so I'm pretty stoked on these. I just like to get them like not zip tied into place and wrapped around the support bars. The Duluth Trading Co. Backseat organizer, whatever they call it. Super easy to install. A bunch of other guys have done it, and I can see why it's pretty nice to have a place for, again, like all the stuff that would be rolling around the bed. This road trip, this last one, was definitely the first where I figured out where everything should go. I've had a couple different kind of setups in the back, and this time I went and got some D-rings and put them into the plywood subfloor I have. So I can like strap everything in place. My cooler, I built some cam straps, so it's like strapped to the ground, won't move at all. Figured out how to tuck everything in here and put a bungee on it, so it's all like solid, like nothing's moving around when I'm off-roading. And this thing, like, I hit some trails in the last week that if anything could have moved, it would have moved around. So
how long did it take for you to get it all figured out?
It's taken 3 major road trips, probably, I think I'm at 30 nights for the year, sleeping in it. So, damn near 30 nights to figure it out. I've gone through a couple iterations of like where my boxes are. I follow the 3-box system. So I've got a box with my pantry, all my dry food and that kind of stuff. I've got a box with my cooking stuff, and then a box with like toiletries and clothes. And I basically can just chuck that stuff in and go for 7-10 days without really having to start worry.
What was your first setup like?
First setup was everything chucked in the back. I built so my first setup, I didn't have boxes for anything, so everything was just rolling around. I had some like milk cartons that had been, in our family for 15 years, so they're brittle and broken and like just shit chucked in them. So it wasn't great. After my first trip, my dog did not like to stand on the bare metal of the bed, so a buddy and I built a plywood subfloor back here, and so that's given me some flexibility to start putting like the D-rings on it without having to drill into the bed. If I remember correctly, on my first trip, I didn't have like a big cooler or anything. I didn't have a table. Sure did not have any of the dry boxes or anything like that. So it was seriously like, I think I chucked everything in the backseat of the truck or whatever needed to be in the bed, and it was chaos. It was like a terrible time, other than, like sleep upstairs, coming down, like down into the bottom. It was kicking stuff around and like, oh man, I know I brought a frying pan, but I have no idea where it is. So yeah, now I have like all the matching boxes where I don't have to worry about which lid goes to which one. And they all kind of like mesh together. The cooler, I got it centered back there, and it's got some room on both sides for other stuff. Finally figured out how to get my water from stop sliding around. I mean, it's simple. It's something I should have figured out months ago, but just a bungee cord up to one of the Toyota T-Track tie-down things, and then into the bed stiffeners. And it worked. I mean, that thing was flying around for months, and not sure it was so obvious. So not sure how I saw that or didn't see that one, but so each box has its purpose. This one got all my dry food. Found like little plastic bins from Fred Meyer, I think, that kind of like almost fit perfectly in there. So I got, I don't know, again, enough stuff. Like I could probably live on peanut butter and cranberries for a couple days. Not happy couple days, but a couple days. One of my major goals with this truck was being able to cook easily. I love to cook. I'm fine with like just kind of regular camp food, and honestly I do eat a lot of it, but I wanted to be able to like cook if I want to. So I've got, you know, basics. I got a cast iron and a pan to boil stuff, and all my washing stuff, ton of knives and spoons and whatever. But it does the trick. I have not felt once while camping that I was like missing anything major. So I think I kind of hit the tee the first time with the cookware, which was crazy lucky. This one's closed. I'm not going to show you because it is filled with dirty laundry from the last week, and I have not cracked that open. So this one on the left is clothes and toiletries. Dirty laundry's in there, clean laundry's in there, everything's in there. This one in the center is kind of like kitchenware, pots, pans, knives, forks, cleaning, etc., etc. And then I always call this one the pantry. It's got all my dry food in it, cans, everything to eat, basically. One of the nice things is that I've been in bear country a little bit, black bears, you know, so annoying little giant raccoons. So these all three fit in the back seat of the truck easily, and it's just super easy to throw them in there. So that's been nice.
Do you have them set up in their locations for a particular reason, or?
No, and I would like to label them because each time I put them in, I kind of shuffle them. Generally, clothes go on the left, but it is a gamble every time if I'm pulling out my my kitchenware or my pantry, which can get a little frustrating. So that's on the list to fix. Another thing I enjoy about these is like they're the perfect height in the bed to sit on. Like once the panels are out, you can sit on them with the panels in, but I think this actually fit. Yeah, it's not like the most comfortable. I'm not the tallest dude in the world, but on a rainy day you can do it. You can put on your shoes and everything. Like get back here. Like I said, I'm not the tallest dude, so I can use these to boost up into the top, which I do frequently. The dog has not learned to jump up on these and into there, so he always gets carried up, but that's how it goes. Let's see.
You want to pop that tap?
Yeah. So, popping the top. Always love it. I have my very old school rigid stand-up paddleboard up here, and it's now lived up here for like 3 weeks. Gone 2,000 miles without moving, well, other than to be used. So, the thing I love is that you do not have to take it down every night. Pops up no issue. We went through some real windy nights when we were down in like Ochoco National Forest, and I was a little worried that it was gonna like, I don't know, act as a sail. And no issues. It was fine. We slept like babies. So I went on a trip down to the all right, I'm gonna butcher this, so I wanna Ochocos? Ochocos. Yeah?
I'll add it to the screen.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Went on a trip down to the Ochoco's a couple weeks ago now, and I mean it was August, and it was pouring rain the entire time, like heaviest rain I've ever been in. Lightning strikes right across the valley, and I did the trick where you tuck the bottom of the zip ups into here, and then kind of pinch it there, so I could like still see outside, but I was getting most of the water shedding off. But it kept frustrating me because it kind of would like sag a little bit in the middle, or like, you know, if I like shut the tent or whatever, it would change every time. And so I just went and got some of these little cheap rare earth magnets or whatever they call them. And yeah, I can put one here and kind of keep the center up. I like over on this side, I've been like doing the kind of T or like triangle, whatever. That's kind of nice at night. Like when I'm sleeping, I can look out and still see the stars, see, you know, if I have a view, I'll see a view or whatever. But I don't know, it makes me feel like I'm like kind of enclosed, like not completely open to everything. So yeah, those have worked really well. I mean, I went for all 3 side windows just because I love natural light. Like I wanted to be able to open those up, and the days where it's just beautiful and like, you know, you have a great view or whatever, you know, open all those up, like you feel like you're in a tree house basically. Usual workflow when I get into camp, you know, get it like pretty level. I don't know how, like I've done a couple where I'm not level at all and that sucks. Get it level, pop like all the panels, get them unlocked, pop the top. I always pop the top first, and then I will hop in and just push all the panels inside to the back. So I keep my two panels up here, and then I can like, I don't know, move all my stuff around. I'm not bending over the entire time. Pull out all my crates and not feel like I'm like in the back of a truck. And this was the selling point for me with the GFC. Like being able to stand up in the back of my truck, I think is the coolest thing ever. Like any changing at the beach or rainy days, like being able to stand up and move around when you're stuck inside is awesome. So yeah, that was one of the big selling points for me. So those are the fairy lights, and let me grab I was charging it so I can plug it in. So, I actually just got this all figured out. Got all this figured out on my last road trip. I thought I lost my headlamp when I was like in the middle of nowhere, and so I had to get some lights upstairs so I could like read and just do whatever. And so I found a way that I could run the fairy lights upstairs, keep the kind of like battery pack station, whatever, up there, and then ran the lights across, and it was enough light to, you know, let me read my books and just like, yeah, be able to do whatever. They are the Lucy solar string lights, and they're like the 50-foot version, which honestly is excessive. Like, until I ran these up here, these ran another loop around, and they were not set up as nicely, so it was like really sloppy looking. But it's been super cool for this. Like, I was telling someone earlier that they aren't the highest light output, but the vibes are worth it. So I'm happy with these. This can charge your phone too. The solar portion of it, I've never gotten a lot of good charge out of it, but it's the way it goes.
How are the vibes in the GFC on a nightly basis? Do you set the vibes which is light, or what else do you do?
So let's see. Setting the vibes at night in the GFC, super easy, truthfully. Like, I camp solo a lot, and I'll just completely admit that, like, I'm kind of a scaredy cat. So as soon as it starts to get dark, I'll like get in here, I'll lock all the panels. I'll usually keep it like this, and I can set up my chair in here. So I've got all the lights going, like usually got the windows open, so I got some fresh air moving through here. I don't do much other than that. Like I set up my dog's bed back here, and we'll just sit back here and read or whatever. But I like the like, I don't know, even though I'm only separated by like a tent and some metal panels, it makes me feel like I'm in my own little castle. So that works. I definitely want to talk about those. Ever since I was a kid, I have been like huge on stickers. Like, ask my mom, and I think I've ruined every flat surface I've ever owned with stickers. And so finally getting this, something that I know I'm going to keep for a long time, I was like, all right, I'm going to commit, and I'm going to like only put cool stickers up here. So I have tried to get a sticker from everywhere I spend the night, which is very difficult when you're in a national forest. Not a lot of places to buy stickers, truthfully. So I found a couple places that sell like the like national forest sign style. And then otherwise, just stuff that speaks to me. Like, I really liked this trout sticker. I'm not actually that big on fish. I just liked it. My sister gave me this one. We went to this super cool record store, and so that one had to go up there. I got this one on my last trip, the I Heart Smokey, and I love my dog Smokey. I put it up there, and we get in bed and fall asleep. Well, try to fall asleep, and it turns out it's a glow-in-the-dark sticker. So just right in the center of your vision, you got a glowing green I Heart Smokey. But I guess it reminds me I love him. Let's see. This one, Butte, America. So I took a road trip with two of my good friends, James and Gary, and to pick up the GFC. And I purchased it in November, and I said, hey, I want to pick it up in March. And the sales guy was like, oh, you can pick it up in like December. And I was like, no, I want to come up. I want to go to Butte, Montana for St. Patrick's Day. And like, if you're familiar with Montana, you know that St. Patrick's Day in Butte is the best thing ever. So we made it over there. Butte, my dad's hometown. It always meant a lot to me. Picked up the camper, headed up to Butte, spent the night there, and had a great time. Got to show my two buddies like all the stuff my dad told me about. Like, went to a bunch of cool breweries, got some green beer, did it all. So that's one of my favorites. It was the first sticker on here. Yeah, otherwise I'm just kind of starting to fill it out. I have not seen a lot of dudes who have stickered up here, and I don't know if this is like trashy or if there's some reason I don't know about to not do it, but I'm going for it, and I guess in a year or so we'll figure out how long they last up there. So when I'm setting up my bed at night, I've got my dog in here, and he does not love the loud noises. He's a little bit of a nervous Nelly. Gets it from me, so I will usually kind of lift the big Tranform-a-floor piece into place as quietly as possible, pull in one of these, and then we've gotten to the point now where he trusts me to pop him up here. Like, the first couple weeks, it was like trying to catch a, like, greased pig. But now he knows that we're going to bed. He loves, like, cuddling in the sleeping bag. So I lift him up there, get him kind of over to the side, and then I'll pop up, drop the Tranform-a-floor into place, and we're good to go. I've run it both ways with the long panel here, and I prefer it here because it's just easier to like push up and give you this full floor space. I think either way is cool. I've used it when it was raining so hard. I cooked up here, and that was incredible. Like, I actually cooked a full meal inside, didn't have to worry about like getting soaked, was able to actually make like a nice warm meal instead of just, some instant ramen or something like that. So yeah, it was a breakfast burrito. Breakfast burrito at like 6 p.m. It was pouring, like bouncing off the ground. And then I'm sitting here and I'm looking out my window like this, and there's a lightning strike just straight across the valley from me. I'm like, okay, that's like a little worrisome, but yeah, we're probably fine. And like 10 minutes later, like 10 Forest Service fire trucks run by, and I'm like, okay, we might have to like pack up now. We might need to get going. But we ate our burrito. No fires as far as I know. It was a good story, so.
Sausage or bacon?
Bacon. Always bacon for me. It's probably not what people want to hear, but I do like the like pre-cooked bacon because I can just keep it in the dry box. So I've always got like 12 pieces of bacon with me. Yeah, my girlfriend hates that. So, but that's the way it goes.
Where were you?
Just doing some dispersed camping by a creek. Found a nice creek. It would have been a lot nicer if it wasn't like pouring rain, but we made the best of it. Like the whole trip was pretty cool. A couple of the guys from the GFC Forum had gone down there and done a trip, and I missed that one. So this was kind of like, okay, I want to go down there and see how it is, and it's definitely a cool place to explore if you're in Oregon, Washington, honestly, like anywhere. I mean, it's worth it to go out there. I did some rock hounding, found a bunch of cool rocks, found some like crystals and stuff. Went to an old like abandoned ghost town mine thing. Did some good off-roading, so yeah.
What has it been like with the GFC? Maybe we can hop outside now. What has it been like with the GFC Forum? Like, what have you used it for, and how has it enhanced your camper?
Yeah, I love the GFC Forum. I'm on the Facebook page, but I use the forum, I think, more. It makes me sad that forums are kind of like a dying art anymore. Like when I was 13, 14, I was big on like the Turbo Bricks forums for Volvos. And so now to see the GFC forum that's still pretty active, a lot of guys on there like talking and discussing and trading tips and tricks, it makes me happy. A lot of like the little things you've seen have come from the forum. Like all of these, I don't think I would have ever. These are actually for like tying down motorcycles, I believe, in the bed of a truck. And someone was like, "Yeah, you give them like $10 online, and they fit everywhere." All the like, I got the Josh Edgar drip rails. He's a big forum member, and he's doing a lot of cool stuff for the GFC community. And so like these came from him. I have the Shitco awning kit for the driver side window, and everyone on the forums talked about those, discusses those. So it's cool seeing the camaraderie. There's no like gatekeeping on there. A lot of guys are like sharing, the little stuff like, oh, get this handle here and get this here. And then also having like a central place to keep track of what I've done to the truck. Like I have a build thread, and I've kind of posted like as I did the little things, as I put on the roof rack, as I go on trips and that kind of thing. And so like just this morning I sent it to my mom, and I was like, here, like look through, see all my journeys and everything. So if you don't have that central place to keep all of that and have maybe like legacy information people can search and find things later on is really important for a community, based around a kind of niche product.
Talk about the Volvo community. Like, what was that about? What phase of your life was that?
It's still my phase. I have a LS swap Volvo 242. The Volvo community is weird. Like, honestly, I feel like campers can kind of like fall in line with them because you either have like the guys who do it because they're just weird, or the guys who do it because they're like super into like gear and that kind of stuff. So you have all the guys who are buying all the like $1,000 suspension components and this, that, and the other thing, and then you have the guys who are like, oh, I just love Volvo 240s because they run for a million years. So honestly, like this is kind of the maturing of me. Like I've always been really big into cars, but I've always built like project cars that are totally worthless. And so to build something and like be able to add something and then also take it and go camping in it for 3 days, 7 days, 10 days has been huge for me. Like my Volvo is super cool, but I can't drive it. Like I can't drive it anywhere. It doesn't have taillights that work. Like I don't think any of the lights work anymore. Yeah, it's totally worthless. I love it, but it's totally worthless. So this allows me to like put that same energy into something and have something that I love and want to use, and then can use. I want to pull this out because this falls into like my loving to cook thing. This was probably like one of the stupidest splurges I've ever done, but it's the Cook Partner 22-inch stove. And I mean, this thing was like seriously a silly amount of money that does the same thing as a Coleman white gas, but it's awesome. Like it's built like a tank. I've dropped it a couple times now, no issue. Whenever it gets dirty, I like spray it with like oven cleaner and then just spray it off with a hose. It fits, if I remember right, the 22 inch like totally fits two 12-inch cast irons on there, so you can like cook whatever you need to on this thing. Yeah, like I feel silly about it, and I feel silly pulling it out when my friends pull out like a jet boil that does the exact same thing, but it's pretty sweet. Like it's made cooking so much easier. I've got the little tiny baby 5-gallon propane, which I also think is like the cutest propane can I've ever seen. And yeah, I mean, I've used this now all summer. I haven't had to fill this once. 30 nights cooking 3 meals a day, basically. No issues. So yeah, like.
Does the food taste better when you cook it on?
I think I'm going to convince myself it tastes better. Like, I don't care what other people say. I mean, it works really well. And that's the stuff I was looking for. Like I'm definitely a buy once, cry once kind of person. I will probably, unless I lose this somehow, never need a stove again, and then I'll pass it down to my kids if I ever have them. So, yeah, it's a little bit of bling, but it's worth it, I think.
I mean, when did you get the ladder?
I just got it a couple weeks ago. One of the forum members hooked me up, like with the Manus claws and everything like that. When I bought the GFC, I passed on like the roof rack setup and the ladder setup, just because I was like, I don't know if I need those. And then almost immediately I was like, oh man, a ladder would be super cool. And so I got the ladder.
Who was it on the forum? Want to give him a shout out?
Yeah. Oh man, Let me look up his name on my phone because I don't want to shout him out wrong. Yeah, shout out to Nolan Kilgore. I believe it's Nolgore on the forums. I'd posted that I was kind of looking for a ladder, and I'm fine saving a little bit of cash here and there. And he was just down in Portland, so I ran down and met him, and super cool dude. Hooked me up with the ladder kit and everything, so we got that figured out, and yeah, I saved some cash, and he got rid of a ladder kit they didn't need.
You just have that thing stashed away between a table and a chair.
Yeah. And that's something I'll mention that I get comments on this all the time, but I've got like 2 of these Kelty built chairs, which are sick. They're awesome chairs. And I will set both of them up, and one's for Smokey, one's for me. He always gets his own chair. Somewhere deep down inside, I'm like, all right, maybe someone will think there's 2 of us here instead of just me and a like tiny little cow dog. But yeah, always keep those with me. I have the camp table, which sucks. That one sucks a lot, but it was like $30 from Home Depot. So yeah, I probably want to splurge on that if you're getting a table. Yeah, the ladder has been big just for like day-to-day stuff, actually. Like getting my paddleboard up on top, which obviously you're not gonna be able to see that right now, but yeah, like being able to access the top of your truck in 30 seconds or less, like that's been really cool. And I got it so I could get in and out on the side. I don't think I've actually used it once for that purpose, but I don't know. When it's time, it's time. Yeah, ready to go.
If you were to classify this build out, what would you say it's for, and who is it for?
I would probably just call it simple. Like, and maybe people will disagree because I have like the full setup and everything, but like, I don't know. I love that on a Friday after work, if I want to, I can just chuck those 3 boxes in and be gone. Like 3 days. And living here in the Pacific Northwest, if you aren't like camping sometimes, like getting out, I think you're missing out on a huge part of the Pacific Northwest. Like getting out into any of the national forests or like any BLM land or anything like that, like we live in one of the greatest parts of the country for doing that. So, yeah, I wanted something that was no fuss, chuck stuff in and go. A lot of this is definitely like in the spirit of my dad. Like I said, he loved traveling. He did all of his solo travels. Like, my mom and him just came to the agreement that, like, she didn't want to go on the trips that he wanted to go on, and he was fine with that. He wanted to, like, roam and ramble and go wherever he wants, and it worked out perfect. And so he would go out, and he had a super simple Honda Element. So this kind of takes it to the next level. Like, I'm a gadget dude. I like gear. I like this, that, and the other thing. And so, same kind of idea. I can go out whenever I want. I can do whatever I want in it. I can go anywhere I want in it. So far, I've pushed this truck, totally stock Toyota Tundra other than wheels and tires. Pushed it up some trails that probably should not have been down, but did it anyway. And yeah, I've gotten to see some things that, like, I went 26 years living in the Pacific Northwest that I had never even imagined seeing, and now in the last year I've seen, parts of Washington that I don't know, never even knew were there. So,
Has camping taught you anything about yourself?
yeah, camping has made me a lot more, like, comfortable with being alone. Like, I get it a lot where people are like, oh, don't you get lonely? It's like, yeah, you do get lonely. Like, I got Smokey, but he can't talk to me. But it's not going to stop me. Like, I'm so much more comfortable now, like, just going and doing stuff, because it's like, if someone doesn't want to go camping with you, I'm not going to let it stop me. Like, some of my friends like to do that, but most of them don't live around here or whatever, however it goes. So, yeah, I mean, it's just made me so much more comfortable with doing things alone, doing things and being happy doing it. So,
If your dad taught you one thing about yourself, what was it?
let's see. I mean, I think that comes around to, like, being happy with yourself. Like, just being able to be with, like, once you're happy with yourself, you can be happy with other people. If you aren't happy, like, doing things alone, doing whatever you want, like, I don't think you're going to be happy doing things with other people. Like, so, yeah, just getting comfortable with that, like, being alone, doing things, and not feeling, like, I don't know, sad about it. Like, you don't have to feel sad. You're doing cool things. You're getting out, having fun. Yeah, I think that's the big thing he put into me. Find some adventures.
Every person's camper comes empty.
Uh-huh.
What was it like filling it with all of your stuff and making it your own?
Filling it up was kind of it was fun for me because, like I said, I'm a gear guy. Like, I like the little gadgets and stuff, and so, like, I think I posted on one of the forums the what did you do to your GFC today? And I was like, oh, I bought these 2 carabiners. Like, I was so stoked to find something as simple as that. I found them at, like, Sierra Trading or something for $1 a piece. And so, like, just doing those little things where all of a sudden it clicks. And it's like, oh, man, like, if I put this here and I put this here and I put a strap here, it all holds down. Like, that was super cool to me because it's just, I don't know, it's satisfying. Like, I built these cam straps that are the perfect length. So there's, like, enough extra to tie them off, but they aren't, like, they don't have, a 15-foot tail running off of them. Cam straps to hold down the cooler in the back. So just those little things, like, yeah, it's just super satisfying to all of a sudden figure it out and be like, oh, yeah, that works. And if it doesn't work, I'll figure it out down the road.
Because this gives you a feeling. I know if I had one to give me a feeling, what feeling does the GFC give you?
Like, I want to say it makes me proud, I guess. Like, even though it's something that I just bought, like, it's a cool thing. It's like being part of a community of dudes who are all people who are doing all the cool stuff. I don't know, it just makes me proud to, like, be a part of that, like, support a company who's trying to do cool stuff. It's every time I look at my truck, I'm just like, God damn, that's the coolest thing ever. So I'm pretty happy with that. I've had an issue with buying and selling cars pretty quickly, and so this one, like, now that's kind of dialed in, I'm like, I'll never get rid of this thing. Like, even in the future when I get another truck or whatever, like, it'll sit in my driveway and it'll be my, like,
weekend camping rig, and that's it. Like, and I'm happy with that. So
I'll say that, like, get out and experience our public lands for sure. I've read a ton of books recently about the fight that, like, Gifford Pinchot and Teddy Roosevelt went through to secure the National Forest for us. And we cannot appreciate how much shit they went through to get that. So if we as the public aren't getting out and using those, like, it's just going to waste. You know, you get up there and you see, like, logging operations use them and that kind of stuff. It's like, no, like, people need to know that the public loves this and the people use it. So yeah, get out, enjoy what's ours, and be respectful for sure. Don't start any fires, Smokey would say. Yeah, that's about all I've got, I think.
What's next for you?
Next for me, for sure, am planning a long trip. Like, my longest so far has been 10 days, I believe. And my issue right now is kind of balancing, like, making distance and then also doing fun things every day. Like, I don't like to spend all day driving, but if I want to go cool places, like, you kind of have to do that. So in the next year or so, like, save up some PTO and do, like, a full month off. I mean, since I was like 22 years old, I haven't had a month off. So being able to do that and then just ramble, like, that's what I always say, like, just rambling. No destination, no, like, plan, you know, kind of a little bit of a idea of where you want to go, but then just head out for it. Like, that's the goal. I want to have a month where I don't have any schedule, I don't have anyone to answer to. I'm filling up the truck, I got the dog, and that's it. So that's on the list. We're hoping to do that maybe next spring or summer. So
If someone was on the edge of getting a truck bed camper, let's just be general,
yeah,
what would you tell them?
I'd tell them it is so worth it to get a truck bed camper. Like, I totally appreciate the pull up and put out your tent and, you know, camp traditional and, like, you can, you know, go wherever you want. But it motivates me to go so much further when I know I'm going to be able to pull into campsite, find a level spot, hit the 2 tabs, and be done. And I mean, any truck bed camper is pretty similar, you know, pull it out, get everything set up, and go. I just feel like it encourages me to do those because everything's ready. Like, everything is on my truck, ready to go, one and done. I know a lot of people are, like, apprehensive. Like, some people are kind of like, it's too much gear, it's too much, you know, fancy gadgets and stuff. And it's like, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm sure you could say the same thing about all the fancy tents people have. Like, why not just sleep under the stars? Why not, you know, sleep in, like, a canvas pup tent like they did in the 60s? No. Life changes, and something like this, like, I just think will make it easier to get out and about. So